Have you ever walked into your house, looked at the thermostat and thought, there is no way it is 74 degrees in here? It says 74, but it feels sticky. Or one room feels like a sauna and the other feels like a refrigerator. And you've already tried everything: filters, settings, service calls. And you start wondering, is it something that is wrong with the system? But here's the part that you may not realize. In Texas, bigger isn't always better when it comes to AC. A lot of systems are actually too big for the homes that they're in. So nothing may actually be broken if the system was never the right size for your home. Hi, I'm Dr. Toya. I am the co-founder of the General Heating and Air, along with my husband, Ade, who is a 10-year Air Force veteran. We are a veteran-owned, family-run company and Dr. Mom approved, serving Cypress and Katy and Northwest Houston. And this is one of the most common problems we see in this area. And you may assume that it was installed the correct way, the correct size for your home, but unfortunately, that may not be the case. And in this video, I'm going to show you the 7 signs that your system is the wrong size, how to tell if it's too big or too small, and what to do if your home sounds like any of these things. If you're a homeowner in Houston and you want to know more about caring for your HVAC system, your home, and your family, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss a video. So before we get into the signs, here is why all of this matters. HVAC systems are not supposed to be sized by the square footage of your home alone. The correct way is something called a manual J load calculation. Now that's a lot, but all it is a measurement that looks at the sun exposure, the insulation, windows, layouts of your home, the airflow. But a lot of installs either match the old unit or use a rule of thumb based on the square footage. That means they guess and just keep it moving. When the math is skipped, the homeowner inherits the problem. So sign number 1, your thermostat says 74, but the air feels sticky and muggy. This is the biggest red flag of an oversized system. Here's why. Your AC doesn't just cool the air. It actually removes humidity, meaning it removes the moisture from the air. But to remove the moisture, it has to run long enough. Oversized systems cool too fast because they're so powerful and they shut off early. So the temperature drops, but the moisture and the humidity stays. And in Houston, that is a big deal. Sign number 2, your system runs for a few minutes, shuts off, and then does it again all day. And this is called short cycling. It is another sign of oversizing, that your HVAC system is too big. And it's not just annoying, it is expensive. Every time your system starts up, it uses the most energy it will use during the entire cooling cycle. So if it's constantly restarting, it's constantly hitting the most expensive part of the entire cooling operation. And over time, that also wears down the system faster. Sign number 3, your system runs all day, but the house does not cool down. So it's 4 p.m. in August, the thermostat is set to 72, your system seems like it's been running for hours, but your house still feels like 78. That's an undersizing problem. Your unit is too small. The system may not be broken, it's just not enough capacity to keep up with your house. So it runs consistently, but never gets there. And the cost shows up in 2 ways. Higher energy bills from that constant running, and early repair and replacement because of wear on the system because of the constant operation. Sign number 4, different rooms have greatly different temperatures. If certain rooms on the same floor are always hotter or colder than the other rooms, that's often a sizing and airflow issue. A properly sized system accounts for the sun exposure, the room location, the airflow to each space. And if that step is skipped, some rooms get too much air and other rooms never get enough. So you have that uneven temperature. And sign number 5, kind of like sign 4, but it's the entire floor. Upstairs is always hotter than downstairs, and especially in the afternoon. That's your big clue. 2-story homes don't have one heat load, they have 2. Heat rises, the attic gets hot, the second floor takes the hit. And when one system is trying to handle both floors without proper design and measurements, neither floor gets comfortable. The real solutions involve airflow adjustments, zoning, or even separate systems. And all of those start with measuring what each floor actually needs, which is where the proper load calculation comes in. So let's talk about a common myth here. To solve the upstairs hotter than downstairs problem, it's really common to say, well, I'm just going to close all the downstairs vents and push that cold air upstairs. That actually makes things worse. It restricts the airflow and stresses your system, and it doesn't actually solve the upstairs problem. Sign 6. If your system was replaced and nobody measured your home, there's a good chance that it was never sized correctly. A proper sizing process is called the manual J load calculation, and if the contractor just matched the size of your old system, they skipped the most important step. Even if the old system was properly sized previously, any changes to your home changes the calculation. New windows, insulation, additions, even if you cut down a tree outside, that may change the result and therefore the size of the system that you need. So new system, new calculation always. Sign 7, your system failed early. So most HVAC systems should last between 12 to 15 years. If yours starts failing at 7, 8, 9 years, this may be part of the reason that is not the correct size. Oversizing can cause wear on the system from the constant starting and stopping. Undersizing can cause it to run non-stop and wear down the system. Either way, your HVAC system is failing earlier than it should. At the end of the day, this comes down to one thing. Your system was sized on assumptions instead of measurements. A proper load calculation looks at your windows, your insulation, layout of your home, sun exposure, and airflow. And without that, they're just guessing. So before you do anything else, here's the simplest way to look at this. If your home feels humid, your system turns on and off constantly. It cools the house very fast but still feels muggy. That usually points to an oversized system, an HVAC system that is too big for your home. If the system runs all day, struggles to keep up and cool your house down, and the energy bills stay high, that usually points to an undersized or too small system. And if you're dealing with hot and cold rooms or upstairs that never really matches downstairs, that's often a sizing and an airflow problem working together. Once you start seeing these patterns, you can understand why your home feels the way it does. So if you recognize 2 or 3 of these signs or even more, your system may not be the correct size for your home. That does not automatically mean you need to have the entire thing replaced. Sometimes it's airflow fixes, duct adjustments, or zoning. But this is where you start. Ask the question, are you doing a manual J load calculation? If the answer is no, or we're just going to match what's there, you should probably keep looking. If you're seeing more than one of these signs, it's worth having your system properly measured. If you're in Cypress or Katy, we can take a look at what your home is actually doing, the layout, and do a proper measurement and give you clear options based on what your home needs. And if you are a homeowner in Houston and you want to know more about caring for your HVAC system, your home, and your entire family, subscribe to the channel so you never miss a video.